Good morning. Welcome, everybody. My name is Eva Medilek, and I want to welcome you to my weekly Facebook Live that happens every Wednesday morning at 9:30 a.m. Pacific and 12:30 Eastern. So, for those of you who may be joining for the first time and don't know who I am a certified high performance coach and an inclusive intelligence coach, which means that I help people with inclusivity, cultural inclusivity in their lives and business by helping professionals, busy professionals especially, advance their careers without sacrificing their health, well-being, or relationships in the process, but also how to be a high performer by having diversity and inclusion in every area of your life. So when you join live, please say hello, please say where you're coming in from, and even if you're on the replay, I'd love to see where people are tuning in from. And so I want to thank you all for joining me today. Today, I have a special guest, Star Bobatoon. This is what's amazing about Star. She has over 30 years experience as a performer on stage, screen, but she's also a litigating attorney, which is like dream profession. My dream profession, because every conversation I have with my husband seems to go into litigation for some reason, and she's a top performing trainer. So what she does is she utilizes that diversity in her background to help speakers, coaches, and entrepreneurs level up their communication and presentation skills. And it also helps them master the art of public speaking. So Star was the program manager for Les Brown speaker training as well, and she ranked the #1 training for a national training company. And so she uses humor, drama, and storytelling on how she teaches her clients how to develop and deliver compelling messages confidently, not only to grow their business, but to increase their influence as well. And so people who work with her or who have the pleasure of seeing her speak always walk away feeling educated, enlightened, and empowered. So welcome.
Hey, Eva, glad to be here. Hello out there.
Yeah, so we're so happy to have you. We have a few people that hopped in. So those of you who are just joining us, please say hello in the chat and where you are tuning in from. We'd love to say hi back to you. So please don't be silent. Let's make this a fun little morning that we have. So I appreciate everyone spending their time with us today. And so tell me and tell the people who are tuning in, either live or on the replay, what is your superpower? Who do you help? What problems do you solve?
Wow. And so my superpower is, I believe, my ability to communicate. And mostly it's my ability to communicate on the stage. But I believe that every place you speak every time you speak, it's a performance. Every place you speak is a stage. So we are always on stage, and we always want to be there to give our absolute best performance that we can. But what I love to do is I love to work with professional women to help them polish their presentations, to help them sharpen their speaking skills so they can turn crowds into clients and conversations into customers.
All the world's a stage.
All the world's a stage, Shakespeare says. And we are merely
players, right? Oh my God, I love that. And when I used to speak to real estate at real estate symposiums, there was one speaker there who always says that, we're always selling. If you're married, you sold or you got sold, and so, and when we are speaking to people, we are really on stage, whether it's at a social event, a professional event, a networking event. It really is about you never get a second chance to make a first impression. Here I am with the cliches. So Takalani is joining us from South Africa. Well, that's quite a ways. Welcome, and thanks for joining. We're so happy to have you. So when people come to you to work with you,
say again. I'm
So
sorry.
when people come to you to work with you, and not for your litigation skills, but for which I think is a great plus. Oh my God, I love that about you. What do you typically hear is a problem that they're having?
Yeah, I generally hear when people come to speak with me, I hear 5 problems. We got
Oh,
5 problems, right? And
that's
the
a lot
first
of
one is
problems.
that well, you did ask, right? But, I would say the number 5 problem is confidence. People don't have the confidence that they need to have their presentations, even face to face or, one to one or one to many. They don't have that confidence. They don't have confidence in what they're saying and the way they're delivering it. Another
Mhm.
thing people have a problem with is connection. Look, I'm not connecting with my audience. I've got great products and services, but I'm not connecting, right? Or, I'm giving a presentation to the boardroom or to my team. We're not connecting. And so that's one of the
Mhm.
problems also. Clarity is a big deal, right? That's number 3, clarity. People are not clear on what they want. Les Brown used to say all the time, the problem with most people, the reason most people can't get what they want, because they don't know what they want, right? So we got to be
Mhm.
clear in what we want, and we have to be clear as we are giving that content. The number 4 reason that people come to work with me is because they're having difficulties with the content. I was
Mhm.
working with Brenda. Brenda has 20 years leadership experience working at Chick-fil-A, and she's like, how do I bring that all into a 2-hour conversation? You don't. You don't bring in 20 years because you can't. But the idea is, people are always wondering, how do I organize my content? How much is too much? How much is not enough? And then I would say the number one reason people want to work with me is because they're not getting conversions, right? They're
Mhm.
speaking, they're doing all of the effort to get the engagement, to prepare the slides, prepare themselves. They're ready, they're doing it, and they think they walk away, they've given an excellent presentation, and then they get
Crickets.
crickets. So they're not getting the conversions. And when I talk about conversion, Eva, I'm not just talking about, converting, crowds into clients, which is a good thing. We want that. But
Right.
sometimes we're in a position where we're not trying to get money per se, but we're trying to convert a way of thinking, right?
Mhm.
Maybe, if you're an inspiration and empowerment coach, much like yourself, you want to get people from feeling doubtful to feeling encouraged, right? You want them from feeling panic to feeling passion. That's what we want to convert people. We want to convert, our bosses to promote us. We want to convert ideas, concepts. And so conversion is sort of the number one issue that people are having. So those are the 5 C's, the 5 reasons why people come to work with me, and the 5 ways that I help them.
Well, my favorite part of all of that was all powerful, was the connecting part.
Mm.
A lot of the clients that I work with, they are in a position to give, presentations not only to their teams, but I work a lot in the real estate investment space, but I also work with clients who are service providers as well, as really helping people. Everybody I work with has this vision, this mission, and want to have an impact on helping
Yes.
people. But the connection piece, how do they connect? How do they show up in a way that connects with their audience, their potential clients, their even on Facebook Lives?
Right.
With so many things being virtual, what are the most, I want to say this correctly, so I kind of tripped on my words a little bit, but how do we build a skill of connection?
We can understand that there are 3 levels of connection. 3 levels of connection. First of all, it's that personal level of connection. You need to connect with your story. You need to connect with your message. You need to connect with, why are you here? Right? You need to connect with
Mm,
yourself, and then you need to connect with your message. What are you trying to say? Why is it important to you? Here's a
mhm.
question: why is it important to anyone else?
What else?
And
Why does
why?
anybody else care, right?
Who cares? Who cares? So you want to connect to yourself. You want to connect to your message, and of course, you want to connect to the audience, because at the end of the day, the audience is sitting there going, it's all about me. It's all about me. I'm an audience member. I don't really care about you. I really care about me. And so those are the three areas that we want connection. And because I'm a presentation and storytelling coach, I believe that the greatest way for us to connect with people is to share a story.
Mm.
Studies, neuroscience and science shows us that people have a greater connection. Their minds are open when they're in story mode, when they're in storytelling mode, and when they're in story listening mode. When we're in storytelling mode or story listening mode, the body releases a chemical, oxytocin. It's the same chemical that you get when you fall in love. Woo! It's the love drug.
Yeah.
That is what is released, and it makes a person more inclined to like you, to connect with you. So I believe in telling stories, and I believe that the most important thing that you have to offer your clients, the most important thing you have to offer your constituents, the most important thing that you have to offer your customers is your story, your particular story, the story that tells the world who you are, what you have to give, and why I should care.
I find that interesting because I get asked to speak a lot and to share my story, which is hugely personal. But when you're speaking on, let's say, a wider stage, um, sometimes here's where I'm getting tripped up with the authenticity versus the strategy of storytelling, because stories connect and stories served. And I always tell my client, your story can be someone else's survival guide. And so I love the
Like that.
sharing of stories. But is there ever a situation where a story can disconnect?
Yes, where a story can disconnect, where a story can trigger, where a story can turn people off.
Yes.
Yes, yes. You just can't get up there telling any kind of story, and you
Mhm.
can't get up there telling all of the intimate details of certain stories, or yeah, there is a place for stories, and that's one of the things that I work with people all the time. It's not just any story. What story? And the story has to be properly structured, because when you tell a story, you are taking your audience on a journey, right? You're taking
Yeah.
them on a journey with you. But if you don't connect with them, they are not following. And there's a certain structure to it that's going to bring them along. And anytime you break that structure, you're going to lose them. It's like a train trying to go up the hill carrying a caboose. We lose that connection. See ya. Right.
Yeah.
So we've got to be able to structure the stories right. And we have to know how much is too much. And that's really about how much time do you have?
Mm.
Right. Because some people have traumatic stories, serious things that happen. But if you got 5 minutes to speak, please do not take me down this very hurtful road, because you do not have time to
Time to
bring
bring
me
it back.
back. You
Got
don't
it.
have time to bring me back. So don't take me there in the first place. Well, this is my story and it needs to be told. Yes, but not everybody is in a place to hear certain parts of your story. And people, I was working with a client last night. We just started working together, and we're working on her story. And one of the things that she does, she wants to say, to get up and tell people how they should handle this situation. And I'm like, well, tell me about your difficulties in handling that situation. She's like, nope, I don't have any difficulties. This is just what they should do. I'm like, look, we are 12 years old inside. We are 12. You cannot tell me what to do until you
Mhm.
earn the right. And then
Mm.
perhaps I will listen to you. But you just jump up and start telling me
What you
your
should do.
keys to the universe. Here's my response. I'm going to clap for you because, I'm
Yeah.
polite, but we're not connecting, and your story is not having an impact.
Mm.
So there are pieces to the story that are vital. There is a structure to the story that is vital. All stories are not created equal.
Right, right. And it's that discernment of what, where, how, and the proper setting and the proper journey
Exactly.
because all stories have a beginning, middle, and an end. And I love what you said. Depending upon how much time you have, people might be able to finish that book in one sitting. And so you can't leave them hanging, because then you've got that disconnect there.
Yeah.
So this has been really, really powerful. And it's actually having me rethink my keynote that I'm giving next week. I'm like, is this going to connect? But no, it's.
Well, you are a professional. You have so much I want to say talent and skills, but that's not the important thing that you have. What you have is work ethic. You know what I'm saying? You are the type of person, you're going to do the research, and you're going to put in the effort, and you're going to do it again, and you're going to do it again, and you're going to do it again and again and again, and you're going to find that right place. One of the things that kills me about speakers is that they don't rehearse, they don't practice, they don't study, right? They think, oh, I have a presentation, let me look at this page for a few minutes, good, I got it. That's not it. That's not how you give a dynamic presentation, a dynamic performance that's going to impact lives. That's not how you do it. But you, Eva, I've seen you in action, and I know that's what you do, and that's why you get the results that you get in your business and for your clients.
Yeah, I do that a little bit too much. I probably no, but no, I appreciate the kind words. Thank you. And here's the thing, though, and I want to ask you this on a personal level. Like, some of us get to a certain age and our memory is not that great and accurate. And I just want, there's practice and there's rehearsal, but I need the prompts, to keep me in order. What do you suggest for that when you're doing a live?
Well, that is one of the reasons that I do enjoy PowerPoint. Not because I need the information there, but I need the prompts. I need the prompts. And all, like some of my slides, they have like a sentence, the beautiful picture. I know what that means. That's like, okay, move on to the next thing. But the other thing is that and I work with a lot of people, not just our age, who are like, how am I supposed to remember all that? But one of the ways is to have it structured. Like you said, beginning, middle, and end, but know what those pieces are. So really, like in the middle of your presentation, if you have 3 points, and that's the other thing, people don't have 3 points. They're just going to talk about a bunch of stuff. No. Let's have 3 points, because most people can remember 3 points, right? You think about your telephone number, it's 3 sections, 10 digits, 3 sections. We can remember 3 points. So if you know your 3 points and you know the structure of each point, you're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. The other thing is structure is an important thing. The other thing is rehearsal or repetition. You know how when there's a song that's popular and it's on the radio, every 5 minutes, you start remembering lyrics. You at least get the hook, right?
Right.
Hook, but you start remembering, and you're not even trying to remember, but certain important things you are going to remember. And that's what happens when you do it over and over and over and over. You are going to know, like that song I was listening to the other day, 1990s. What do they call it? New age, whatever they called it at the time. Let's see if you remember this. Oh, whoa. What song is that?
I don't know.
Anyway, it's never gonna get it, never gonna get it, never gonna
get it.
Never gonna get it. Whatever. You know that song. Never gonna get it. We know that part. I don't know the rest of the lyrics. No idea. But the thing is, when we repeat our presentation over and over again, there are parts that are just going to stick. And the rest of it is going to flow, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Because you're still going to be you, right? You're just going to have some anchor point, but you're still going to be you. Like I say, this is your story. This is your content. You know it. Now, if you don't know your content, that's a whole nother story.
That's a whole nother Megillah right there.
Exactly.
A whole nother Megillah. And for the young people watching, you have no idea.
I have no idea what you mean by that.
There was a cartoon back in the day.
Megillah Gorilla?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yes. Okay.
I know you know. I know you Anyway, sorry, this has been truly delightful and fun, and just how important it is to really learn how to connect in all of our communication and conversation, whether it's, socially, although most of us have, have limited social, in-person social, but we
Yes.
have the opportunity to be engaging in our social media presence and to learn how to connect, especially if you are an entrepreneur or a service provider and you have a business, because people will follow you if they know, like, and trust you. And you've got to have that level of connection and
Yeah.
storytelling. And so Star is your girl. So how can we find you? Anybody who wants to talk to you further about this?
Anybody who wants to connect with me, my name is Star Bobatoon. And so Facebook, Star Bobatoon. And IG, Star Bobatoon. I try to keep it simple. But you can go to my website, starbobatoon.com, starbobatoon.com. And I have a free gift for you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Okay.
a free gift for you if you go to staronclubhouse.com. Star
The Star
on
on Club.
clubhouse.com, and you can get my free guide, 5 Steps to a Captivating Story. And in there, you also have an opportunity to connect with me on all my social and to schedule a one-on-one call with me. Oh, but wait.
There's more.
I have a speaker clinic. I have a speaker clinic coming up on August 14th. It's a Saturday from 10 to 12. This is an opportunity to come, and I'm going to do a short presentation on some aspect of storytelling or presentation skills. But the best part is people get to ask questions. People get to have hot seats, and I will rework your story right there on the spot. So also, if you go to staronclubhouse.com, you'll see the link for that.
Yep, I put that in the chat. You definitely want to take advantage of that if you really need to up level your communication and connection skills. You want to talk to this lady. Thank you for coming on. I appreciate your time, energy, and effort spent with me this morning. Thank you to everyone who showed up live and said hello. And you know what? And watch the replay, love. I'm so glad you're here and glad to have you. But when we talk about stories, it's usually stories that connect, stories that we know that are personal to us, that will serve other people to having a breakthrough in their life and business. So thank you all for joining. I appreciate everyone and see you next Wednesday at the same time.
Thank you for having me, Eva.